Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to run a basic MapReduce word count program. So the MapReduce programs can be written in Java. I'm using Eclipse IDE for writing Java programs. So for creating a MapReduce program we need to first create a Maven project. To create a Maven project we have to go inside File, New, and click Other. Inside a Maven folder there will be an option called Maven project. First we need to select that and click on next, then click on create a simple project, next, then we have to go group ID. Since it is a word count program I'm giving it as org dot wc for word count, and the artifact ID is the project name. I'm naming it as word count. Since the word count already exists, I'm going to name it as MR, MapReduce word count, and click on finish. So now the Maven project is created in my workspace. So what we have to do is we have to open the pom.xml and go to pom.xml file. So what we are going to do is we are going to add some dependencies inside this pom.xml. So the purpose of dependencies is to download some packages from the given website. So for running a basic MapReduce programs we need some packages. These packages can be downloaded from a link. I'll post the link down. We can download it from MapReduce Maven dependencies, and all repositories and all dependencies will be available in the first link. We can open that. So for running the MapReduce program in Eclipse, or to write a program MapReduce program in Eclipse, we need some 4 packages. First one is Hadoop Common. The next one is Hadoop MapReduce Client Core. So I'll open it side by side. I'll close other unmodded tabs. So first we need Hadoop Common, then we need Hadoop MapReduce Client Core, then we need Hadoop Yarn Common, then we need Hadoop MapReduce Client Common. So what we have to do is we have to select an updated one, or you can even go for a stable version of this dependency. So I'll choose the updated version of the dependency. So there will be a lot of dependencies. You can select whatever version you like, and it's most preferable to use a stable version. So if you see in here 2.6.0 is the stable version here, but we don't need to do such complicated MapReduce program. So I'm going to have the updated version. So in all dependencies I'm going to updated version. So all we have to do is copy this dependency and paste it in this pom.xml. Before pasting it we have to create a tab saying dependencies. So inside this dependencies tab we have to paste the copied dependency. Similarly we have to do for other dependencies. Now we have Hadoop Yarn common. Next one will be Hadoop MapReduce client common. Now we have all dependencies. We just need to save it. The Eclipse will build your workspace again from scratch. So now, yes, now we are ready to write our first MapReduce program. So there will be a folder called source main Java inside our project. So that's where our codes are going to be. So first I'm going to create a package. I'm naming it as org.wc and going to finish. So now the package is created, and now we are going to create a class. I'm going to name it as word count. You can name it anything and click on finish. So now I'm going to copy the already available word count program. So for that we need to go to MapReduce word count. It will be available in hadoop.apache.org MapReduce tutorial. You can go to that website, and we will be having the MapReduce version 1. We are going to test that first. You can copy the entire program, and we don't need these things. We can leave this package. Yes, we have copied now. So now I will explain how this MapReduce program works. So as we all know, the Java program first start with the main function. So inside the main function we have some configuration. All MapReduce program needs a configuration part. So there is a class called configuration. We are creating object first, and so the MapReduce tasks run as jobs. So each MapReduce task will be a job, will be one job. So since here we are running a simple MapReduce task, we are creating only one job for that. So first we are creating a job, and using that job we are setting up a jar class. For that we have to name it as the main class name, and we are setting up a mapper class, we are setting up a combiner class, and also we are setting up a reducer class. So all mapper, reducer, and combiner will be separate classes. So I'm specifying what class belongs to mapper and what class belongs to reducer and combiner. So this combiner is optional. It basically does the job of a reducer class, but it runs in the mapper side. Instead of running in the reducer side, it runs in the mapper side, and it has its own advantages. And then we are specifying the output key class and output value class. So the MapReduce program run by taking key and values as the input, and it also gives key and values as the outputs. So we are specifying the output key class and output value class. So in MapReduce it has its own data types. Instead of strings, it will have text, and instead of int, it will be having int writable. And also we are specifying the input path and output path. So in this case the input and output paths will be given as the command line arguments. So the first command line argument will be taken as input path, and the second command line argument will be taken as the output path. So once the Hadoop reads this configuration and makes sure that all given parameters are valid, it checks whether the jar class matches its name, and whether the mapper class is available, the reducer class is available, and also make sure the input files and file is available, and make sure that the given output folder path is not available. So once it's happy with this, with the given parameter, it moves to the mapper function. So the mapper function, it takes the line number as a key, and the given text as a value input, and it returns text as an output and iterable as the value. So to understand how the MapReduce uh, program run for a word count, I'll show you a simple example. Before that, we are initializing a variable called 1 and making it as a constant. It will have only one value called 1. So how the MapReduce word count works like this. So first it reads the input file and separates into different mappers. The mapper function reads each line and parses into separate words. So for each word it will assign the value 1. So here, if you see in this line, apple, orange and mango is red, and the mapper function assigns a value 1 for apple, value 1 for orange, and value 1 for mango. Similarly, for other lines it does the same thing. Now we have assigned the value. It will write the word and the value 1 to an intermediate output. So the next, actually the control goes to reducer function, but before the reducer function, Hadoop does some function on the intermediate file. What it does is it collects the same key into a single list. Like it collects apple 1 from all different mappers, and give the input to the reducer as a single list. So the reducer will get an input like apple as a key, and the value will be a list of 4 ones. So similarly if you take mango, the reducer will get input like the mango as a key, and a list of 2 ones will be your values. So reducer, it reads the input key and input values, and it simply goes through all the values it got from the mapper and sums up everything and writes the key and summed up value to the given output folder path. So this is the basic word count program. So now we are going to run this. So to run a MapReduce program in a cluster, we need a jar file of your project. So since we have created a Maven project, we need to create a jar file in a specific way. For that, we have to right click on the project or run as and give Maven clean. So next we need to right click again, give run as, and give Maven install. So the Maven install will create a jar file inside your target folder. So why I did Maven clean is to clean everything inside this target folder. So if you want to have your old jar files, you need to move those old jar files to another place. If we see inside this target folder, there will be a jar file created inside. Now I'm going to move to my workspace, go to the project, mr word count, go to my target folder, and we can rename it to any name we want. I'll simply leave it as mr word count.jar. We need to move this jar file either to WinSCP if you're using uh, Windows, or CyberDuck if you're using a Mac. Now I'm going to move this jar file inside this WinSCP, and I have already opened PuTTY. We are going to connect with HDFS using PuTTY, and we are going to run our jar files in PuTTY. So I already have a sample input file in this. I'll show you. You can see that I have already a text file. So this is the file that I'm going to use for the word count program. To run a jar file in PuTTY, we need to use the command as to jar. Then we have to give the file path of a jar file. So it's in my server, followed by my username, followed by the jar file name. It's mr word count.jar. Then we have to give the main class name. Since we have created a package for our main class, we have to give the package name also. My package name is org.wc, followed by dot, then my main class name. Then we have to give the input file path, mammals.txt, followed by my output folder path. If you give enter, it will run for some time. So you can see that now the mapper has finished its job. Now the reducer is starting. Now the reducer is completed and the jar file is completed running. Now let's check if there are any output folders created inside the HDFS. For that, you can see an output folder is created, MR output. Now I'm going to see what's there inside the MR output folder. Sometimes in some clusters we will get these many output files. So it means that there are 71 reducers running, and each reducer produces its own output. So we don't need these much output files, we can merge it simply. So for that we need to use the command hadoop fs-get merge, followed by the folder which contains these files. That is the output folder path that we gave for our word count program. It's mr output, followed by in what name we are going to save the file as. So I'm moving it to my cluster, so I'm giving users my username, followed by, I'll check before I'm doing this if I have any output files. No. So I'll name it as output.txt. If I give enter, all these multiple files will be combined into a single file called output.txt in my server. So if I refresh it, I can see there is a file called output.txt and it contains my word count program result. So this is how a simple word count program works in the MapReduce method. And thank you.